Hello and welcome. My name is Frederick, and in this video we'll be taking a tour of the K-ecommerce page builder inside our CMS. We'll be going over all the steps and tools used to create a page like the one shown here. To start, I need to log into our website admin. Then I can navigate to CMS, and under Website, I will select the one I want to edit. From the Search Pages section, you can edit an existing page or create a new one. I will create a new page, give it a name, select the template which shows Page Builder, and hit Create. The first thing I want to do is go into full screen mode so I can maximize the space on my screen while I edit my page. You can press Escape on your keyboard to go back to the standard view. Other functions in this toolbar are the language selector. This option is for replacing the content of your page from another language. This is your border viewer, zoom level of your page, the undo, redo functions. Click here to view the source code editor. This is our full screen toggle and the save button. Before we get into the various functions, I want to go over some basic principles of designing pages with our page builder using the mobile-first approach. When you start with a blank page, you'll notice by default, the builder displays a mobile format as shown in the format selector up here. To ensure that your site always displays correctly on any device, we recommend you start with the mobile view and build from there. That way you can adapt the formatting and visual elements of your page to suit whichever resolution your visitors are using. Each element I'll be adding to structure my page starts with a row. This element is available in the left pane under the Structure section. It can be laid out in one or multiple columns. These columns will contain the various objects or widgets used to add content to your page, whether it's a text box, an image, or whatever else you want to add. Before you start building your page, it's a good idea to have a basic plan on how you want your page to be laid out. I find it really helps if you do a quick sketch on paper, or in this case, I use PowerPoint to outline my structure. I will start by adding 5 rows to match what I have in my wireframe sketch. Under Structure, I drag all my rows of one column. Even though we'll need a 3-column section, we'll keep it as one column for now, and I'll explain later why. Now we have the basic skeleton of our page, and we can start configuring each section. I want my page to have a slider element at the top, so I can drag this to my top row. You can notice this widget shows a configuration icon, meaning I'll have to set the parameters for this in my slider section. I jump out of full screen and select the tab slider right next to the page builder. But before I do so, it's very important that I save my page so I don't lose what I've built so far, or enable the autosave function here. The slider tab is where I can configure the properties of my slider. So let me fast forward through configuring the 3 images I want my slider to have and the URLs for each. Once I'm done, I save and publish. To view the slider, you can just click on View on my site, and a page opens up showing the progress you've made so far. Now I'm ready to move on to my second row. Let me go back to full screen and drag my H1 header widget here. The H1 tag is used to indicate the primary topic of your web page to visitors and to search engines. I click on it to select it, and we see the contextual toolbar available on every widget of your page. I can double-click to write or paste my text. To edit this option, I click on the cogwheel to open up the Settings pane, where I can navigate to Styles, and Typography, where I can set the font style, color, alignment, etc. Under the Dimension sections, I want to add padding to the top and bottom sections so I get a nice spacing. Remember that padding applies spacing within an element and margin adds spacing outside the element. Moving on to this 3-column element, If I know that I want the 3 columns to be formatted the same way, then I usually format the first one how I like it, and then duplicate it to the other columns. I want to insert an icon at the top, so I drag an image widget, and I either upload my image or select one I previously uploaded. I drag a heading widget for my title, and a text widget for my paragraph. Then I format each one by clicking on Settings and making the adjustments. Once I'm happy with my first column, I hit the duplicate button twice and it creates my 2 extra columns. Now I just need to format the other 2 columns accordingly by adding my text and images. The 4th row element on our page is the full width banner with background, image on top, text, and a call to action button. We'll start by setting the horizontal and vertical alignments to center. Under Style, we'll go into Background, set it to Image, and then select the background image for our row. Set it to No Repeat and position to Center. Now we're ready to drag our widgets, so let's start with an image, which brings up our Media Manager window. We'll go and select our icon. Then we'll drag our heading and change the color to white. Under that, we'll drag a text block widget and set it to white also. Lastly, we'll drag our button. Let's select our row and go into Styles and Dimension. Under Padding, we'll add 20 pixels to the top and bottom and 10 for left and right. All that's left is adding our text and setting the URL for our call to action button. The last element of our page is this ebook download row, which is a 2-column section. But at the start, we only added a 1-column row. To make this into 2 columns, we just drag in this widget zone element, which converts our row into 2 columns. Now I can add my image on the left, and on the right, I'll add a heading, a text block, and a button. I can switch the style of the button to primary and set the correct URL. And lastly, I'll go in and add my final text, and we are pretty much done with our page. Now we can save our page and click on Preview to have a look, or click on View on my site to see your animated slider. If ever you want to change the order of some of the elements on your page, you can click on the Layers section and see all the elements on your page. You can turn them on or off with this toggle switch. You can click on this arrow icon if you want to move them around. It's also a good idea to name every section of your site so it's easier to find your way around. But what if there's a section that you don't want to appear in a particular resolution? Let's say this ebook row I don't want to appear in phone mode because it would make my page too big. You can select the object and click on this eye icon, which will make it disappear. Here in the hidden section, you can see our object was masked in phone portrait resolution. If you want to bring it back, just click on the trash icon to restore it. So there we have it. I hope you found this overview of our page builder useful. Stay tuned for more videos on how you can get the most out of your K-ecommerce website. See you next time.